Okay, I'm going to show you a basic setup of your digital video recorder. Here I have a 4-channel digital video recorder set up. I currently have one camera connected. Cameras 2, 3, and 4 are not connected. Using the remote control provided, if you press the DVR menu button, that will bring up your menu. I'm going to run through this pretty quick here. This is just a basic run through. Here's where you set up the title of your cameras if you want those to display on your screen. The event status will allow events to be displayed on your screen. To select any of these options, use the arrow keys on your remote. Select any of those options using the enter key. The date display will allow you to display the time and date on your screen. As I go down here to the image setup, I get to pick the image size. This is all kind of the quality of image that you will get through your recorder by setting these. I currently have the best picture setup and the best frame rate setup to get the best quality picture for my system. And here is the recorder timer and detection timer setup. I currently have these turned off. My system is set up to record on motion only, which I highly recommend that you set your system up the same way. Recording timer, if I were to turn this on, that would give me a schedule. Right here, the record timer, I could set the time and the day I want my system to automatically record. Again, I do not have that set up on mine, as I'm always recording by motion detection. Detection timer is if I could set up a schedule to record my motion events within a certain time frame. And again, I have mine recording all the time in motion, so I do not need that timer schedule set up. The next section here is for your time and date format and daylight savings. This is where you set the time and date for your system, what format that displays in, and then your daylight savings settings. More options here. I'm into the advanced configuration. This is where we'll set up the cameras themselves. Here's where we will set up the name of our cameras. I currently have my camera number 1 labeled as the front camera. My brightness, contrast, saturation, and hue settings are at default settings, which are usually very good. The covert setting, as this is turned off, if I have this turned on, this will record the camera but will not display it on the screen. It's a way to not allow certain people to see what you are recording. As you see here, the menu automatically times out if you do not move quick enough. I'm going to go back in here. We were in the camera setup. And I also have the recording turned on for camera 1, turned off from camera 2, 3, and 4, as they are not used. So that is where the camera title, color setup, picture setup, your covert, and recording options are. If I go back to this advanced configuration tab, the next option is detection. Detection is the motion detection setup for the system. I currently have the front camera detection turned on, so I will record motion whenever it occurs within my picture. The setup is where I set up what areas of that screen I want to detect motion. I currently have the road blocked out with red boxes here, my yard blocked out, and I pretty much want to record anybody coming up my sidewalk to my front door. You can move the cursor and select and deselect these boxes using the enter key. And that is how you set your motion area. The LS SS, TS, and RE are all settings to the sensitivity of how that motion is recorded. If you check your manual, that will tell you how to fine-tune that to pick up smaller objects or larger objects. The alert setup, oops, let me go back here. The alert setup is the sounder that's built into the digital recorder. You can turn that internal sounder on or off. Mine is currently turned on, and will play a sound when I press a key on the remote or on the recorder. I lose video. I do not have that turned on for motion. Every time motion is triggered, I do not want my system to beep. The hard drive buzzer, when the hard drive is full, it will beep to notify me. The next thing is your network setup, as if you're going to connect your system to a network to view it remotely. The display setup is the setup for different size monitors or different type monitors. Also in here is where you set up the dwell duration if you have your video system automatically scrolling through all your pictures. It will scroll through those pictures every 3 seconds. Back to the menu here. Alright, the other option is the recording options here. Recording options is the manual recording I have disabled. Again, I have this set up to record for motion only, so I do not need manual recording turned on. But I do have event recording turned on. The motion detection is considered an event. Every time a motion recording happens, it records it as an event to my system, so I do have that turned on. I do not have any timer recording enabled. Again, I have it recording all the time. So to set your system up for a motion-only recording, your settings should be the same here. These are your frames per second, event record, images per second, or frames per second. This is where how many frames per second will record every time your system detects motion. 120 is the maximum. If your system is filling up rather quickly with information, set this number a little lower. It will make the picture a little choppier, but you can fit a lot more video onto your hard drive of your system. Pre-alarm record is a nice feature. It allows you to record 5 seconds, 10 seconds, a time that's up to you, before and after motion is detected. It's kind of nice to see, what happens before that motion event has occurred and what happens after that event has occurred. The overwrite will, when this is turned on, this will allow your system to overwrite old material. So after a month and a half of my system recording video, my hard drive is full. So we'll overwrite the old and bring in the new video. It only deletes the oldest stuff in the system. It doesn't totally clear out the system. So it's a really nice feature there that you can pretty much set your system and forget it. It's just going to keep on going. Alright, back to the menu. That's it for the Advanced Configuration tab. The System Info tab, this is where we can set our password for the system. The default password is enter, 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 and that can be changed by you. You can reset the system to default settings here. You can wipe out the hard drives and start fresh and new. Upgrade is if you have your system connected to a network, you can have it automatically go and download any upgrades that are available. Auto key lock is a feature that will lock down the buttons on your system to require a code to get back into the menu. I have that turned to never, so I can easily gain access to my system. We'll get back into the menu here. The language, that's simple English. the video format select. That's pretty much the basic setup. This information is for viewing video back, which we'll go over later. And this here is for backing up to a USB device, which we'll also go over later. That's simply by, let's go over it now actually. That's by entering a USB device into the front of your, a memory device into the front of your recorder. You can back up video onto that. Once you enter that in, you will be prompted to back up your video. And that is everything I have to show you for now for the basic setup.